8, 56, 23, 42.
Okay. Oh, wait a minute. I'm pretty sure you can hear the music in the background, right?
Yes.
I should probably turn that off.
I'm going to be switching to my intro music in a few seconds.
There we go.
Almost sounds a little bit like...
As much as I don't mind listening to them, that's not good for podcast. No, what I've been thinking about doing is getting some black felt and just putting it on the wall here. Because it would be a lot of it would be an easier contrast, and also with all my random smattering of collectibles here, it would just be
black velvet on the window.
I thought you were gonna go with Lana Miles there, but clearly not.
Woohoo!
Oh, which one is it? Is it this one? So I've been 36 hours without my splint.
Very nice, very nice.
Yeah.
Welcome to another exciting episode of WTF ATTA podcast. I know I'm catching JD a little bit by surprise here. I did mention that I was going to be throwing on the intro music in about a couple of seconds there, over a minute ago. But I know that he was doing some other stuff, and that's okay, because we do lots of shit in the background. I'm just throwing him off by actually being ahead of the game. This is outside of the norm. This is entirely outside of the norm. He is not prepared for this. And if you're not prepared for this either, you can go to WTFATTA.blogspot.com to find out more information on the cast and crew. And it's a podcast. The episode's there. You want to send us a question, comment, or concern, email us at WTFATTA@gmail.com. You want to watch us live, go to YouTube or Twitch. Go to iTunes for the podcast episodes. Go to Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter for follow, like, and subscribe.
Prick. You say that you're gonna start the music, you're gonna start the show. When I walk away to go turn off my music.
No.
Yes. Maybe. Prick.
I'm giving it the old Trudeau.
Oh, and what does that
I might tell you something to your face and then say something else once you turn around.
Hit me.
I'm JD the Media Jack, and this is the Flipside, episode 428. Thanks for joining us yet again on another Monday evening. Joining me, as always, from across Canada is Eli from WTF ATTA. He's in Ontario. I'm in British Columbia. And you can follow me all over social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, and Mixer, and be a part of the conversation, as we always have chat live during our show. And if you catch our show afterward, you want to watch it afterward, feel free to leave a comment below, because we do read our comments. And yeah, you can follow him all over social media as well at WTFATTA. Not real WTFATTA, because ironically enough, those assholes are the fake ones. So, follow me at the Media Jack, follow him at WTFATTA, and let's get on with the conversation. And you totally did say that you were going to start the show when I was away from my desk.
That's is a huge lie.
Well, speaking of huge lies, the whole Trudeau thing that you tried to wrap in there, that was not Trudeau. That was Trump.
I don't think that's true, though.
Oh,
I've been waiting to slide that one in
I
there.
set you up for Jesus Christ. I heard the door swing open on that one.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, Trump's been in the news a lot lately, and if you're wondering why I'm like being weird with my hand, is because I have my splint off yet again, and I actually just came from the gym. And got a good lower body exercise in, but my hand is a little bit raw.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I did. What? There's nothing derogatory or suggestive about that. I got a lower body exercise. My hand hurts. Fuck you.
Squats for days, bitches.
Squats for days, bitches. I'll just be a cardio bunny until I'm feeling better. Anyway, Trump being in the news, being a part of the G7 summit in Quebec, which, you know, kudos to the American news outlets for constantly being on the ball. During a few reports said that Trump met Trudeau in France.
Mais oui.
Yeah.
C'est bon.
So Trump went into the G7 summit. Okay, so let's rewind just a little bit further than that. Before the G7 summit, like maybe 3-4 weeks ago, Trump said that he's going to start throwing tariffs around to try to balance out the supply and demand and the income as well as the sales, and because he was feeling that America was getting just bent over the desk when it comes to imports and charges and fees and blah, 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 blah. So he's going to start hitting back with tariffs. And in that statement, he said that, oh, by the way, Canada, among a few other countries, are exempt because Canada, 10 other countries? Was it 10?
No, I was going to say,
yeah. Said that,
I didn't mean to derail you.
Said that Canada was going to be exempt from these tariffs because the United States and Canada have a very good and close trading agreement. And then mere hours before going to the G7 summit, it's like he just enjoys being glared at. It's like he enjoys being in the hot seat. It's the only thing that must get him hard, honestly. Mere hours before going to the G7 summit in Canada, he decided, oh, no, there are going to be tariffs for Canada because aluminum and steel and fucking dairy, it costs way too much. Way too much. And the tariffs and the charges are just insane and blah, 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 blah. And then he goes to the G7 summit and goes back and forth, then leaves the G7 summit early to go to see his brand new best friend, his BFF, his funky bunky, Kim Jong-un. And then while leaving the G7 summit, decides he's going to badmouth Canada even more. Like, you passive-aggressive dick.
I'm reminded of high school, right? When you'd have those kids that'd be driving by on the car, fuck you, fag!
Yeah, and then they get stopped at a red light.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Can we go through the red light now? Those guys are kind of catching up.
It's good.
Yeah. It's just fucking ridiculous. So he's complaining about, what was it? He's complaining about aluminum and steel, as well as dairy products, Canadian dairy. Now, last I checked, and they're still working on it, but last I checked, American dairy products and Canadian dairy products are vastly different. And, to each their own. There are different regulations when it comes to food quality because we are different countries. That is fine. But one thing that has been documented, and I don't know the current stance or status of it at this point in time, but American milk has a lot of sugar in it to try to convince kids to drink more milk. This is something that a few celebrity chefs have brought up on many different occasions, saying that this is bad. We should not be trying to convince and coax kids into having something healthy by spiking it with sugar because that makes it unhealthy. So for Trump to complain about Canadian dairy, saying that whatever the number, I think it was like 270% of a markup. First of all, it's a fucking market. You go into any store whatsoever, the cost of a chocolate bar in a grocery store, a cost of a chocolate bar in a convenience store. It's even a better example because you notice that snack food costs more if you go to a convenience store as opposed to if you go to a grocery store. But snack food in a convenience store has a minimum 300% markup because that's the fucking market. It doesn't. You're not going to get dollar for dollar, cent for cent for anything to come from the manufacturer to the shelf. You're not going to pay that price. That is absolutely, utterly ridiculous, insane. That's not how you make money.
And let's also not forget that the longer you're in business, you get to make smaller products and charge more for it.
It becomes a specialty item.
I remember when a plain Timbit, 10-pack of plain Timbit, even regular other like flavored Timbits, $2.
Yeah.
20-pack for $2. Now, 20-pack, it's like $10.
Wow. A 20-pack? I would say
sure 20-pack is getting up there.
I think
it's
closer to 5. But yeah, it's getting up there.
It's getting up there,
yeah.
And the Timbits are smaller. But there's a rise in production cost. You're using less fucking material.
But that's the market. That is business. That's the way things go. So, first of all, for
Gas
Trump...
price fixing?
Oh, let's not even get into that. That's
Timbit fixing?
Okay, so to anyone who's worked in a convenience store or done inventory in a convenience store or has even the slightest business sense whatsoever knows that you do not charge dollar for dollar the shelf cost of any product whatsoever. And a 300% markup on any product is actually not that uncommon. So you
need to offset what you've purchased in bulk because you're not going to sell everything that you've purchased from a supplier. So you need to be able to offset that cost with being able to produce more of what's popular. So you keep that inventory that will go for a while and sell what's popular.
You're also talking about specialty items, right? If you are marketing Canadian brand maple syrup, then you have the right and the ability and the freedom to go like, this isn't just maple syrup, this is specialty Canadian maple syrup, right? So you have that branding that you can charge more for. If you are marketing this is Canadian milk as opposed to American milk, it's the same thing as like when you go into a store and you see organic. It's the exact same thing.
You know, there's something that I find interesting about all of this. And there's one industry that I've noticed that has never changed its prices in the 30 years that I've known about it. 25 years. 20 years.
Which is?
20 years. The black market for drugs.
Oh.
The price of pot has not changed in 30 years.
Okay.
Right? And just to tie this into what you're talking about, BC Bud, right? Didn't even matter if it was fucking shit grown outside next to a cow patty. If it came from BC, you were paying the full price for things, which is no higher than the original $10 a gram.
Yeah.
Right. The way it goes is as you go up higher into the higher amounts, you get bulk deals, right? You buy in surplus, you get a discount. Right. What I find interesting is the fact that the black market is essentially a completely open source market, and they've never raised the prices, even though the methods to produce cannabis have improved and the costs have gone up. The price has never changed. So how the fuck does that work?
Yeah.
All right. So that's it's thoughts like that really drive me crazy when I consider that Tim Hortons is now giving me a tinier fucking Timbit for $2 I'm really pissed about that.
You seem a little steamed about this.
These are my Timbits, man. I love those things.
Don't fuck with my junk food.
And I am probably one of the only people you'll ever meet that actually likes old-fashioned plain.
No, me.
All right. See,
Fucking
there we
A.
go.
You know
Right?
what?
And now we have less of that every Timbit.
I will go into the Timbit box looking for an old fashioned plain for the primary reason is I'll never be disappointed because it's always there. and
No.
What do you
There are
mean?
people who have been asking specifically not for it. Honestly, sometimes I wonder if people are fucking with me because they know I'll fucking eat it.
That's funny. No, I call them dog biscuits because, for the longest time, people I've hung out with were like, I don't want to eat dog. Like, I'll just give that to my dog. Like, fuck the dog. I want it.
Yeah.
Beard Old Goons Gaming has joined us in the conversation. I still stand by the fact that, if you want Canadian products in the United States, guess what? You're going to have to pay for it. If we want American products in Canada, guess what? We're going to have to pay for it. So a 270% markup on any product whatsoever is really not that surprising to me at all. And quite frankly, I'm more surprised at the fact that Trump is upset by this because of the fact that he claims to be a great and brilliant businessman. He's not. If he's complaining about this, it just means that he does not understand basic business, period. Now, he wants to tear this whole thing down and start from scratch, which to me, totally fine with that. Fuck
NAFTA.
There's that, and also the fact that means that we can go back and restructure some of the things that we are giving a massive fucking discount and break on, which include, surprise, surprise, water and power.
Yeah. Holy fuck. The fact that we buy the right to give hydro to the fucking states.
I know.
What the fuck?
I know. So if Trump wants to tear this whole thing down and start from scratch, fucking go at it. Did I just break you?
Just my head just...
Give
me like a week in office. Give me ultimate veto authority and a week, and I will set up a system that will ensure that we will be seeing the future for many millennia to come.
Bray has joined us in conversation. It still boggles my mind the fact that there's just so much that is going back and forth, and it's part of the North American Free Trade Agreement, which is fine. But like I said, if Trump wants to tear this whole thing down, then go for it. Because the whole thing about him claiming that Canada is a national security risk to the United States was laughable, considering that once he made that statement, I was actually rather surprised with the amount of Americans who went and took to social media supporting Canada, saying that they're not a security risk for us at all. Are you talking about the 270% tax we have on the U.S. dairy? Yes, this is absolutely true. It's just apropos of Trump to go and just badmouth and be passive aggressive like this as he's leaving the G7 summit to go to meet with his brand new bunk buddy, Kim Jong-un.
And Dennis Rodman.
Oh yeah, that's fucking... The Worm's gonna be there too. How weird is that?
That's very fucking weird.
It's like... Why? Like Dennis Rodman has already gone on record to apologize for his actions and his comments and his throwing his support behind Kim Jong and North Korea, citing that he was drunk and out of his mind, stoned and not thinking straight. Now, for some reason, he's invited himself to this weird fucking summit between, according to Fox News, the two dictators of Kim Jong-un and President Donald Trump. They went on record and said that the two dictators, I'm sure, will have something in common. They've since retracted their statement, saying we apologize for calling Donald Trump a dictator. Sure.
Yeah. Fuck.
Did you see his most recent tweet? I mean, he's all over Twitter. He's always all over Twitter. 2 hours ago, Trump took to Twitter. His Twitter reel, Donald Trump. The fact that I'm having a meeting is a major loss for the U.S., says the haters and losers. We have our hostages. Yeah, let's not get into that. Testing, research, and all missile launches have stopped. Okay, he has spelt so far missile and stopped incorrectly. And these pundits who have called me wrong from the beginning have nothing else they can say. We will be fine. How do you spell stopped?
Oh, you're actually, are you asking me?
I'm asking you.
Oh, Stopped.
Yeah, Stopped. So he stooped.
No, stooped to be OOP.
So actually, technically, he spelled out stupid. Stupid.
Boy, you some kind of stupid.
and missile is spelled Missile. He spelled it Missle. So the missile launches have stupid. Oh boy. He is going to go to North Korea and say, make promises, make peculiar guarantees. Let me see if I can bring up the article. Trump, Korea guarantees. Trump, Korea guarantees. Trump, Kim, U.S. says North Korea negotiations making quick progress. According to Trump's advisors, North Korea will get unique security guarantees. So I wanted to kind of brainstorm as to what type of guarantees Donald Trump is going to give Kim Jong-un. The first one I can think of is whenever they have a sleepover, they will absolutely, utterly guarantee that the Secret Service will have plenty of supplies and also a mat and a bottle to play spin the bottle. It will be sanitized as well. The bottle will be sanitized.
I imagine, in all honesty, pretty much any world leader has, pardon the pun, a trump card.
Ha!
I really hate that. Yeah, it's if you offer Kim Jong-un recognition as that North Korea is a member of the World League of Nations.
You mean the UN?
Its original name, which
the League of Nations. That's true. That is absolutely true.
The far more sinister sounding one. We are the League of Nations. Join us or else.
Someone find Solomon Grundy a chair. Anyway,
shit, what was I saying?
If Trump was going to give Kim Jong-un and North Korea recognition as a part of a upstanding country, basically.
Recognition that North Korea and recognition of Kim Jong-un's, we'll say, quote unquote, reign, but it's more recognizing North Korea as an independent country to itself. All right, that's why North Korea and South Korea, there's no talk of like merging the borders because they're going to remain independent countries. It'd be like saying North Canada and South Canada. Sorry,
or
America.
East and West Germany.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know why North Korea exists?
Actually, I think if I remember correctly, it was something to do with the Korean War.
Close. You're a little too far back. Or sorry, you're not far enough back.
I was gonna say, yeah. If anything, yeah.
World War II.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure Korea was unified up until World War II, but I don't know what happened between then and the Korean War. Okay,
so what happened then in World War II? Thank God for documentaries. Is after Japan surrendered surrendered, and that was after they dropped those nuclear bombs, right? After Japan surrendered, they agreed, Japan and the League of Nations disagreed that the war was over. But because communication was so shitty around that time, a lot of Japanese soldiers and platoons and whatnot didn't get the message for a while. In fact, in certain parts of the world, there were a lot of Japanese soldiers that were still in hiding up to 25 years after the fact. But that...
There was a sniper guy like that.
Yeah. But there was a... that kind of sort of had nothing to do with it. Because Stalin... even though he was aware, decided that the war was not over for him. And representing...
He was Stalin?
Yeah, he was Stalin. Representing the USSR, decided to continue to try to take and grow and attack as much as possible to get as much landmass as possible for his glorious country. And that is what happened with Korea as he took over the top half of Korea. So essentially, the split happened there. So if it wasn't for Stalin taking over half of Korea, we probably would not have North and South Korea.
Fucking poor Korea, man. Their whole fucking history since the existence of Korea fucking millennia ago has just been occupation by one fucking force or another.
I have another security guarantee for you between Trump and Kim Jong-un. They will split the Netflix fee as long as it's under Donald Trump's email, but Kim Jong-un gets to choose the password.
You did just give me an interesting thought. If there's Bollywood, would there be like Kimmywood or like
Koreawood? Are you kidding me? Garen damn fucking T it. You could blame his father for that.
Kimmywood.
I would be so entertained. Like, the amount of propaganda that has come out of North Korea is just insane. And if you watch that, it is beyond cringeworthy. But imagine being able to watch any and all stage productions, because Kim Jong-il was a huge theater buff. Massive theater buff. Right? So imagine being able to watch anything that was put in production when Kim Jong-il was in power. And you would have to think, too, that the amount of entertainment, as well as, like, TV, movies, whatever have you, I would sit there with popcorn and hide under a blanket, because it'd be just so intriguing, yet so fucking cringy. It'd be entertaining as all hell. I would watch that in a heartbeat.
All right.
Well, wouldn't you? Jesus.
Probably. I've watched the Hitler speech, so
yeah.
I didn't understand a fucking word of it. I was just curious to see. Like, I was all about like the body inflections and that at the time. So.
Yeah. The posturing.
Very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. The idiosyncrasies that he just portrayed, and like watching that is horrific, because you think to yourself, like, he is literally convincing people to go through with all of this stuff, and they're utterly mindless to do so, or to think otherwise, because whatever Hitler was doing at the time, unfortunately, was working. Yeah.
He was a fucking the original Charles Manson.
Yeah, I can see your thread on that one.
Getting other people to kill other people.
Well, yeah. He kind of succeeded a lot further, unfortunately.
I agree. He was the archetype.
Yeah. Now, you wanna talk to me about Stranger Danger?
Yeah, I got a fucking story about Stranger Danger. Okay, so quick summation. A lot of shit happened yesterday, and my nerves were already kind of like frayed before this happened.
Okay.
So I just get back to Dina's parents' place.
Mrs.
Right?
D, the mother of your child.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I pull up, and I see this kid, maybe about 50 feet in front of me, 3 years old, dart across the street. And he's running over to this like wooden fake water well thing with this flower pot on. And I'm thinking, oh, he's gotten called home for the way that he was running, right?
Yeah.
No, he runs up, he smacks the flower pot, and fucking, you can see him just giggling like, ah! And then he runs away.
Okay.
Right? And he books it back across the street. At this point, I'm like, okay, this is just fucking weird. And I start to get out of the car, and he starts walking towards me. And I'm standing there. I'm like,
yeah.
Are there any adults around? Anyone watching this kid? Like, I don't hear anyone calling for someone. Or he's at this point now. He's walking past me. I'm like, hey kid, where are your parents? Doesn't say anything. He's 3, right? He clearly is not a. His vocabulary is very limited.
Yes.
Type thing.
Okay.
Also, he just may not really talk to strangers. I don't know. Anyways, so I have a decision to make.
Yes.
Do I pick up this kid and try and move him over off the road? Well, first off, also, this kid doesn't have any shoes on. So that's another reason, too, where I was like, okay, I'm going to forgo the fact that I'm going to look like utter stranger danger here, and I'm kidnapping this kid.
Yeah.
And fucking pick the kid up.
Yeah.
And I'm right outside of Dina's parents' place. So I just walk him onto the lawn and over to the bay window, and I just start just rapping frantically on the window, waving, hoping that someone's right there to see. I notice that someone's coming, so finally I turn around and I'm holding on to this kid on the lawn, and he's getting a little antsy and whatnot.
Squirming.
Yeah, but then he notices my daughter's toys sitting there, and he's like, "Oh, stranger danger! What's that? Toys!" Yeah, it was a little disconcerting. I was like, "Holy fuck, Liliana! Seriously, no candy or toys from strangers."
Yeah.
Anyways, her dad comes out and he's like, "You have a kid here?" It's like, "Yeah, can you get like Dina or Christine out here, please? Because for one, her dad is not going to be very handy in this situation. He's going to have to go and get them. It was a mistake for him to come out in the first place."
Yeah.
But they could tell by my insistence that someone needed to come out and see me.
Yes.
Anyways, he's like, "Oh, okay, I'll go in and get him." Well, I don't know how long it took, but I mean, it felt like at least 5 minutes. And so there I am, and the kid's getting more and more and more squirmy, and he's starting to get now loud. He's starting to get ready to scream and that. Mm-hmm. I'm like, well, I don't want to let this fucking kid go and just run.
Yeah.
Right. And so finally, Dina and her mom come out. Right after fucking what felt like forever of just like, oh my god, someone's gonna see this and think that I'm trying to kidnap this fucking kid.
You got visions in your mind of how do you explain this to the police officer when you throw in the handcuffs on. It's like, I was just trying to protect the kid.
Right.
Yeah.
And so then Dina comes out and it's like, okay, let's walk up the street where I saw the kid coming from. Yeah. Let's see if we can try and track down his home. Yeah. Right, let's take him with. So I'm like, Dina, it's probably best if you pick him up because he's probably gonna feel more comfortable with like a woman and whatnot. He's probably like, who the fuck is this guy that keeps he won't let me go. He's holding on to me and that.
Yeah.
All right. He was still kind of fussy, but he was a little bit better for her. Anyways, we start walking down the road, and I look up and I see this guy come darting down one of the side streets, just like in a panic, looking left.
Yeah.
Looking
is this yours?
Well, I wave over. I'm like, yeah, over here. It's like, oh, Adam, it's okay. Daddy's coming. Daddy's coming. And he comes running over, and he grabs his son from Dina and says, looks at Dina and says, "Thank you so much," and turns around and walks away. I'm like, motherfucker.
You know what? Take it. Take the loss. Just fucking take it.
And it's like, I'm not really one for accolades. I didn't do it for accolades.
Yeah.
But it was the complete disregard, or just dismissal of everything that I just fucking went through. Save your goddamn kid. The woman gets the fucking kid, carry the kid over the goddamn finish line.
Yeah,
fuck off.
You know what? Team effort. Like I said, take the hit and just fucking nothing was misunderstood. Anything of the sort. Just take the hit and just.
There was something that was misunderstood. My role as a goddamn hero.
Well, you're my hero. Does that count?
Yes.
Okay, good. Now, chill the fuck out.
I wanna be a hero, baby.
Well,
that's all the Enrique Iglesias anyone ever gets.
Yeah, that's good. Well, I mean, at least it worked out. Although, so I kind of sort of have the same story, or something along the same line. I went over to a friend of mine's. We're working on a couple of projects in his backyard. Like, he's building a fence, and he has a gazebo, I guess, for his hot tub. And he just wanted to get some staining done, whatever. So anyway, I head over there, and ironically enough, he actually lives across the street from a cousin of mine. And him and his wife have 3 kids, and they're all little hellions. You know what they say, the best thing about other people's kids is you can always give them back. Anyway, so I pull up, and I'm on the right side of the street, and my cousin and his family live on the left side of the street, almost directly across the street. So I come out and I pull up and I get out of my vehicle, and as soon as I get out of my vehicle, I hear a honk, and I turn around and I see that a vehicle that was behind me is blaring his horn because one of my cousin's kids has just blindly made his way across the street to come say hi to me.
Oh.
And I just, I fucking freaked out. I'm like, oh, it's Steven, Jesus. So I run over, grab him, hurt hand and all, and bring him back into the yard, and he starts bitching and crying and kicking and fussing and whatever. And so my cousin and his wife come out and like, what's going on? So I tell them, and they're like, oh, yeah, he does that. What? He just walks out into traffic? And apparently if anyone comes and parks within the vicinity, they always have to keep an eye on him, because even if it wasn't me, if it was someone else, if they were parking in that area and that little child, Steven, sees a vehicle parked there, he will just walk up to him.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And this is why, like, a year ago, I started with my daughter every time that we would go to cross the road or go to an intersection or anything like that.
Yeah.
What do we do? Look left, look right. Is it safe? No cars? Okay, let's go. And she's even, she's so conscious of it that if I go to step out and I don't say it, she's like, Daddy, stop. Whoa, Daddy, stop. Look left. Look right. She's fucking adorable.
It's cute.
Yeah. And same thing with traffic lights too. Whenever we're driving, Daddy, red stop. Green go.
That's good. You make a game out of it, right? And you make sure everyone's safe, right?
Yeah. And she's aware of things like that. She knows that, the red light does mean stop, and she's starting to understand that, okay, that when we have a green, the people that are going perpendicular to us have to stop. They have a red.
Right. Well, that's smart.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Her comprehension is just, it's through the roof, this child. Like, it's amazing. I wish that her vocabulary would keep up with her mind.
With her information intake.
Yeah, she's just a phenomenal little sponge. Right? Like, I mean, that's part of why she ended up getting hurt, was because she was following what the other kids were doing, and she wasn't quite paying attention. She was doing so good because the last couple of months that we've been going to the park, I've been working on her so that she knows, you have sure footing before you take your next step, right? Whenever you're playing on the play set, you make sure. And I was watching her do it, and it was amazing. She's coming back down. You could see her just like testing it out. Okay, is my foot there? Okay, there's the railing. Okay, and if I let myself down slowly, okay, my balance is good. Everything's good. Okay, all right. Like it, just watching the process is just it's amazing.
Jesus. Well, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
I just found something here from usatoday.com. Dear Canada, you deserve better from President Trump. Here's an apology from me. From who? Who are you? Dear Canada, I know it's presumptuous for me to apologize to you for the crude and unmannerly behavior of our president, but even as a private citizen, I feel that you deserve better than to have your prime minister. Okay, you're blocking me from something. Would you? I don't need a goddamn survey. Oh, now you're gonna play a bloody video. Shut up. Okay, to feel better than to have your prime minister treated harshly and disrespectfully. The minimum of simple courtesy, not just diplomatic protocol, entitles him to be addressed respectfully by his title and not by the condescending use of his first name. I didn't even realize that. Interesting. Well, then again, we are talking about Donald Trump.
A rose by any other name, same as a skunk by any other smell.
It still sucks. Yeah.
That still sucks.
Yeah. Anyway, you got anything else?
Nothing really in particular. Like I said, this past weekend, my brain basically just fucking shat itself. And also, there really hasn't been anything of interest that's actually come up as of late.
Well, I mean, quickly to recap, like just in the sports world, because I mean, it is the sports world. We had the Washington Capitals defeat the brand new franchise, the Vegas Golden Knights, and this is the first time in Washington Capitals history that they have ever won the Stanley Cup. Congratulations to them, and a bit of a hometown pride for me, because one of the guys who got an assist in that game, in fact, I'm pretty sure it was the assist on the game-winning goal, was Brett Connolly, who is a hometown boy from Prince George, British Columbia. So that would suggest that the cup is coming to Prince George, which is kind of cool.
That is actually pretty damn cool.
We also have the Golden State Warriors sweeping the Cleveland Cavaliers in the NBA Championship Series. Kind of humbling for King James there, LeBron James, as he now becomes a free agent into the next year. What will happen with him, who knows? And in CFL news, we have Johnny Manziel, Johnny Football, who completely screwed the pooch when it came to his NFL career, getting a decent win over the weekend with the Hamilton Ticats. I think they were... Who the hell were they up against? I should research that just to make sure. TSN.
Well, on the topic of basketball, while you're doing that, I was watching a video earlier today of Michael Jordan and him having a basketball camp and this like prodigy kid before LeBron James. This kid was like just going places. And then he ended up going into this camp with Jordan, and he said, "You can't touch me. You can't guard me." And and it's Jordan's camp, right? So he doesn't want to like embarrass anyone and whatnot. Mm-hmm. And so after a point during the game, he turned to the crowd and everyone. He's like, "Okay, you guys leave. What's gonna happen now is a lesson."
Okay.
Holy fuck.
Did Jordan like whoop him on the court or whatever?
Oh, just pulled his pants down, spanked him in front of his mama.
What? Metaphorically.
Metaphorically.
Jesus. That'd be a different documentary for Michael Jordan.
Yeah. Just whooped him senseless. Right? Because, I mean, sure, the guy was going around Jordan, but Jordan wasn't even trying, right? And then all of a sudden, here comes Jordan. He's like, okay, now watch my fade. Just sinking him.
Yeah. I'm going to have to look that up. Anyway, Johnny Manziel, anyone who is aware of NFL football, Johnny Football, this season signed with the Hamilton Ticats because the NFL would not take him anymore. And he got a win over the Montreal Alouettes 30-15. Now, he will be taking to the field for week 1 of the CFL as they take on the Calgary Stampeders, and that game is on Saturday. Johnny Manziel, oh, don't you dare load. No, stop it. Stop. Okay. Johnny Manziel had 12 for 20 when it comes to connections, threw for 88 yards, and got a touchdown. So, not bad. Not bad at all.
Not bad at all.
Also, one of the reasons why news was so quiet is because E3 was a thing that happened over the weekend, and a lot of games were announced. A lot of other different sources out there, like Dark Avenger C86, Dark Avenger Gaming, they have a complete and utter wrap-up of E3. As for me, I mean, there's a couple of games that kind of sort of piqued my interest, but nothing really that I'm like totally excited for.
Yeah, I feel very
let down.
Blasé.
Yeah, me too. Just kind of like, oh well, we kind of knew that this was coming anyway, so yeah. I mean, the new Skyrim, or not Skyrim, new Elder Scrolls is going to be coming out, Elder Scrolls 6, which, like, I'm still rocking Elder Scrolls Skyrim, right? Like, I don't play Elder Scrolls online, so it's just kind of blah. Like, I really don't care. And as for Fallout, I mean, I still really enjoy playing Fallout. In fact, I'm going to be, it's on the budget that I'm going to get Fallout for VR, which is going to be entertaining as all hell. But again, it's just kind of like, okay, so you're going to bring in Fallout 76, which is of the same universe, completely different timeline, way before Fallout 1, 2, 3, and 4. And also, it's going to be multiplayer now? Fuck off. How are you supposed to be able to tell a story, a Fallout genuine story, when it's multiplayer and you have a bunch of jackasses playing? Like, no thanks. Nope, I'm good.
What I'm looking forward to is the day when have you ever seen Ready Player One?
Yes.
I want that haptic suit feedback shit and whatnot. But on that note, there is a serious flaw in that whole fucking movie. It's one small segment out of the whole thing that I was like, okay, all right, I can't suspend my disbelief on this. All right, and it was spoiler alert for those who haven't seen it. The big battle at the end, right? And everyone's involved, everyone's fighting, and you see in the real world for a moment, and you see this group of kids charging down the street, just full tail, just
yeah.
Like they're fighting. How the fuck don't they run into shit? I mean, okay, you're in an open field. I'm gonna run to get you.
Yeah. Straight into a telephone pole.
Yeah, fucking unconscious.
You know what? Here's the thing. Yeah, a new Doom also. Bitter Old Goons gave me to bring that up. Sea of Thieves has new content coming out as well. So I read the book. It's one of the rare occasions where I read the book before I watched the movie, and it's Ready Player One. And there is some severe contrast. Now, this being the first time I have ever had the experience of reading the book first and then watching the movie after, I finally got to understand what a lot of people have been bitching about whenever this happens, of like, the book was so much better. Well, yeah, okay. My imagination is able to recreate something that I'm reading into my mind, and it makes it a lot more entertaining because it's up here. Also, I do understand I'll make a point. I do understand the fact that they had to change a few things because some of the scenes in the book wouldn't translate as exciting as what was going on in the movie. Like, for example, the race. The race in the beginning of the movie is nowhere in the book. Nowhere. There's nothing like that at all.
So how the fuck do they get the first clue?
So the first clue is actually a dungeon. And it was a dungeon that was hidden in plain sight that Wade Watts found just on a chance. And the first key was won due to a head-to-head video game challenge with the creator of Oasis. That's how the first key was ever won.
That sounds so much better than the fucking movie.
Yeah. And, well, yeah, but the driving, like the racing scene where you had fucking the DeLorean and all the cars and Bigfoot and freaking King Kong is there and all that. Like, that's way more action-packed than what the book was trying to describe. I get that. Also, the fact that Wade Watts doesn't meet the girl in person until the final chapter in the book. But in the movie, he meets her like halfway.
Halfway, yeah.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
So, there was a lot of things that were just kind of like, okay, I get it. I understand why you did that. You tried to punch up what was going on here and make it justified over here, blah, blah, blah. But still, like, yeah, it was one of those things. I can honestly say that I prefer the book over the movie, but at the same time, like, the movie was still enjoyable.
Yeah, the movie, yeah. It definitely, I mean, the same thing could be said of the Harry Potter movies when they first came out. I mean, with the exception of book/movie number 5.
Yeah.
Book 5, fucking amazing.
Okay.
Movie 5, suck, man. They cut out, like, okay, in the movies you see Ron or not Ron, but the Weasley twins, the older brothers, the mischief makers.
Yeah.
They get like 30 seconds of mischief, when in the book it's like this fucking much, like an inch of paper dedicated to the fucking pranks they did to fuck this lady over.
Okay.
Right? And I mean, they were hilarious. It's what set up their whole shop of like magical wonders, because they were basically selling all this shit during this time period. And here you go, your 30 seconds, and then next movie, look at what we got.
Okay.
The translation from movie to book is shit.
Yeah, but I like, again, like, for the first time, I'm part of the experience of, like, the book was better than the movie because I read the book first. So, like, I get it. I do understand it, right? I understand the changes and why the changes happened.
There is a series that I'm looking forward to being done, because the way the author wrote it, everyone has the same scene in their head.
Yes. And
everyone hears the words the same, everything, right? Because the author included a glossary at the end of all the words that you're like, okay, how the fuck is he saying this? Oh, okay. I mean, it's the Wheel of Time series, for those that don't know, but it's fucking amazing. And yeah, if they did it with the budget of Game of Thrones and didn't do it like they fucked up Sword of Truth, then it has the potential to be something that's even greater than Game of Thrones, and is actually a better fucking script and storyline than that piece of garbage bullshit.
You know, there's the Game of Thrones prequel, right?
Oh God, no.
Here's the thing: is that when it announced that Game of Thrones prequel was coming out and it was going to be another television series, right?
Game of Groans. That's what it should be fucking called. Game of Groans.
Here's the thing: is
how
that
many groans?
People got excited over the fact that Game of Thrones was having a prequel. That means more content, and then they find out when Game of Thrones prequel was going to be based in, and it's literally thousands of years before season 1, episode 1 of Game of Thrones.
So just a big fuck you.
Exactly.
Okay, all right. I suddenly like this. I like it solely for that purpose, and I will never watch it because fuck Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
But they at least get half a thumbs up. They get a stubby.
A stubby. They get a meh. One other thing that it doesn't really spoil anything. But do you remember when in Ready Player One, Parzival made a bet with the library keeper?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the library keeper gave him what?
A coin, which was
Yes.
which was a free life.
Yes. Well, he didn't know that at the time.
Yeah.
Right. So there's elements of that is similar in the book. Okay. So there is a library or a museum or something of the sort in the book of Ready Player One, which has anything and all to do with that time period, and also geekdom, and also anything of interest when it came to the creator of Oasis. Okay. In there is a pizza shop and an arcade with a wide variety of arcade machines, and he's going to try to find the second key. Now, Parzival thinks that he is on the track to finding the second key when he puts two and two together and realizes that he has figured out that there is an arcade machine that is unplugged in this pizza joint, which just so happens to be one of the Oasis creators' favorite arcade games. So he's playing this arcade game, and he's playing through it, and while he's playing through it, suddenly there's an update that someone else found the second key before Wade Watts did. But Wade Watts is already like elbows deep into this video game, and he has this hunch, this feeling about something. And so he knows that he is nowhere near getting the second key, but he's still moving forward with this. So he gets high score on this video game, this arcade machine. And by getting high score, he notices that he knocked off the old high score holder, which happens to be the person who created Oasis. And then all of a sudden, the arcade machine spits out a quarter.
Oh, that's where the quarter comes from.
Yeah. And so he goes, well, okay, that's fine, whatever. He sticks it in his pocket. But then he goes to look at the quarter again and realizes that he can no longer pull it out of his inventory. So the quarter is stuck with him. Right? And it's not until the big battle where, annihilation, right? Mm. Where all of a sudden that quarter just automatically comes into play.
Mm.
So, yeah. Mm. Anyway, so there are some, like I said, I watched the movie. It was entertaining. There were some aspects of the book that were clearly there, but there were some things that were definitely changed. Like I said, that race in the beginning of the movie, nope, nowhere near.
Mm. Yeah, that. I feel like it's such a shame for it to sacrifice. Okay, you know what? I saw a meme the other day. Would I watch 6 hours of a movie knowing full well that it had every piece of dialogue and every bit of whatever from the book? And everyone's response is, fuck yes, I would.
Okay.
Because as you know, any time that fucking happens, you hear like, oh, they're going to make a movie out of the book. you're instantly filled with like joy, and then,
and then
another half instant later, you're like, oh, they're gonna fuck it up.
Yeah. Well, that's what I thought when they announced Ready Player One, honestly. But I went into watching Ready Player One after reading the book, and you know, like I said, I get it. I understand what they did. I get it. I also understand why they changed a few things. It was a little bit disheartening, a little bit disappointing at times, but you know what? I get it. I do get it.
Imagine they redid Star Trek: The Next Generation, and they gave Captain Picard a full head of hair. I just couldn't do it. That would just fuck me right up.
And he becomes obsessed with his hair. Yeah.
Computer. Slick.
Yeah, exactly. Riker is constantly... Oh, Riker's still talking about his own dick, so whatever. Anyway, let's wrap this up.
Give it the old Riker maneuver. Seriously, have you ever heard about the Riker maneuver and the Picard maneuver?
I know the Picard maneuver.
Where he every time he stands up, he fucking tucks it, or
he adjusts his shirt.
Yes, always gotta have it nice and tight. Gotta show those pecs off.
Exactly.
But the Riker maneuver is he never fucking just sits down on a goddamn chair. He fucking straddles it like he's trying to hop onto a fucking horse.
Yeah, and he's always got a knee up somewhere.
yeah, fucking. We talk about man spreading nowadays. This motherfucker was the arc. Fucking the general leading the masses.
Yeah.
Bitch, please watch me stick my knees up past the...
Okay, I gotta go.
All right. Oh, shit. All right, you've been listening to the WTF ATTA podcast. I am your host, Elijah. Joining me tonight was JD. The website, WTFATTA.blogspot.com. The email, WTFATTApodcast@gmail.com. You can go to YouTube, Twitch, iTunes, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Like, subscribe, follow. Check us out live Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and Thursdays, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
What are we going to call this? Because I already pre-named it Trump's Korean Missle.
I feel like it just needs a little bit of a rhyme in there, a little bit of garnish rhyme.
We talked about
Trump's missile.
We talked about the G7 summit. We talked about Trump. We talked about Trudeau. We talked about marketplace pricing. We talked about Ready Player One, sports. We talked about Stranger Danger. What else?
I feel like there should be a Trump's Missile Command, but it's like, you know, CUMAHND.
Command! Trump's Friendly Missile Command?
Because that was the Atari game, right? Missile Command?
Yes, I think so. So, hold on. Trump's Friendly Missile CUMMAND? What the hell? How is that a word? That's not a word.
That's not a word. Cafivra.
Why? You know what? Screw it. I'll go with that. Trump's Friendly Missile Command. Or did you spell that wrong? CUMHAND?
Nope. Yeah. Command.
You spelled it wrong. That's CUMAHND.
No, I meant to say AHND.
Okay,
Command.
Fine.
but I kind of like yours. I like yours. Actually, yeah, I fucking love it. Yes. Trump's Friendly Missile Cumhand.
So we'll go with this. I like it. Anyway, I'm JD the Media Jack. You can follow me all over social media: Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, and Mixer. Gonna get back into more streaming online with other video games some point in time. Probably get into a Jackbox session sometime in the near future.
Oh, we gotta.
But, thanks again, Eli from WTF ATTA, all the way over in Ontario. And I'm JD, the Media Jack in British Columbia. And, continue to speak from the skull. I'll see you guys next time.
Cheers.